Welcome back and good evening, everyone. It is actually really cold out tonight. I feel a lot of frost in the windows and everything. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a back workout tonight. Let's see. So I'm going to be doing everything twice a week now to where I'm not going to do my T-bar rows tonight, but I will do bent over barbell rows. Let me make it a little brighter in here. Deadlifts and one arm dumbbell rows. Still do a wide grip pull down. So we'll probably only do 4 exercises for back tonight, since we're going to be hitting back again. And then I'm going to be doing some rear delts. So I'll do, let's see, the rear delt machine and that specialty. I like to call it like the atom shrug, to where you have your hands in front of you like that, and you're kind of pulling up right to where I'm able to yank back quite a bit and really flex that rear delt. I know it hits the traps quite a bit too. And I'll also do the barbell shrug, what I was telling you guys last time, that I'm going to start doing the way Jay Cutler and Dorian Yates would do them, to where he'd pull up, it almost kind of like bend the elbow a little bit. And so you have to really use a lot more strength. You have to have a lot more strength to use a lot more weight. So that's kind of what I want to do, and just to be able to hit some more fibers. And if it hits more in my rear delts, that's great too. Just because I'm going way too heavy on my barbell shrugs, where I'm using 405 to 5 plates on there. And I mean, it's okay if everything's all limber and warmed up, but it's like if I do pull anything with my trap, it really bothers a lot of other things. So I'd like to start varying with the exercise to see what I can do to manipulate the weight into making it feel like it's heavier than it actually is. So it's like the body doesn't necessarily know how heavy the weight is. But if you're able to tweak things and do things different ways, you can get a lot more growth out of that. And then the weight can start to come over time with that exercise. So just like to be a little bit safer. And that's the key to everything we're doing here, is just to be as safe as we possibly can. I'll definitely be using my belt for the bent over rows and the deadlifts, of course, and the one arm dumbbell rows. I will also be doing my biceps. So probably do about 3 exercises. I think I'm going to do my close grip barbell curls first, and seated dumbbell alternating curls, and then I'll probably do that preacher machine. Or I guess it's not really a machine, but you can load plates on it, kind of like a hammer strength machine. So yeah, we'll probably only do 3 there. I don't want to blow my biceps apart too much, since we're going to be doing it again. Biceps, for me, it's really easy to overtrain them. So I'm going to try to back off of the volume a little bit and distribute it between those 2 workouts better. Legs, back, and chest, I generally can get away with doing a lot of volume, just because it's a much larger muscle. And so at least that's from my experience. Some people think that the volume doesn't matter, regardless of how big or small the muscle is. For me, just over the years that I've been doing it, biceps for me have never been a very strong point. I mean, I do have decent biceps. And it also doesn't help too that, I mean, all the years I've been lifting, they've been covered with a layer of fat. So it's really hard to see your peaks and the shape. I mean, triceps, you generally can see that horseshoe through, even if you're like 50, 60% body fat. So yeah, you can see triceps a lot faster than you see your biceps. I mean, obviously, if your arm's thick, you can tell that someone's got biceps, but you have to be pretty lean to be able to see the definition in those peaks there. So yeah, a lot of good things going on. Oh, I wanted to, before I forget, what I was talking about the other night on Amazon. I put it in my affiliate link now. They had it on here. It's called Pure Muscle Carbs. It's by Ultimate Nutrition. Has a bunch of carbs in there, and so I did about 2 scoops of that tonight. And it's nice. It's actually only $25 on here. I wish I would have known that back in the day. Once I order more of those, I'm definitely ordering through Amazon, because I think there was a shortage. I don't, maybe Ultimate Nutrition didn't have anything going on through Amazon, so they were harder to, apart from there's some stuff online and then stuff that people would resell through eBay. That's how I found it before. So yeah, a lot cheaper through Amazon. And also Amino Energy Powder. That was the one by Optimum Nutrition. I like to mix those together. Orange, a lot of orange flavored, like citrusy kind of drinks. I like those. Like when I was really little, I loved orange soda. Couldn't get enough of it. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, I don't really drink normal sugar sugar soda pop anymore, unless I'm trying to get a quick carb source in, just because I love diet soda so much. And so, but yeah, also have my little handy dandy 0-calorie Rockstar drink that I'll have, which I'll finish that before I move on to my carb drink. And since my workouts are longer now, about halfway through, I'm going to start sipping on that carb drink, just so I can get more energy through that. And so, yeah, it was really exciting. My wife and I were able to put a bunch of our Christmas ornaments that I ended up inheriting from my grandmother on our little small 4-foot Christmas tree upstairs. And so we weren't able to put them all on there, so we'll have to put them on our bigger one that's downstairs. But it's fun, really sentimental, getting to, I mean, some of those ornaments are probably, 60, 70 years old. My grandmother had those things for years, sent photos to my family of them, and obviously very special for them too. Because when I was little, so I'm back in the 90s, we used to always go over to grandma's house, and we would all get together, my mom, dad, and my brother. My little sister was, maybe the last couple years, because Ava was born in 98. So maybe that last year or so, she was probably there, a little baby, so she didn't remember that. But yeah, my brother and my mom and dad and grandmother, we would all decorate the tree, and my dad would set up his big old-fashioned video cassette recorder. Those big, huge, like camcorders, or you'd record with them. He'd have big suitcase that he'd put them in. Actually, the darn thing still works. He checked it out a number of months ago. Those things will last forever. But yeah, really sentimental, a lot of fun. Wife and I and my son Jonathan, we're going to go to the Zoo Lights tomorrow in Portland. They decorate everything up there, so that'll be a lot of fun. So seeing a lot more lights up around town, a lot of good stuff. And so it's nice this time of year with the holidays. And so, well, we're going to get this show started. I don't see any other cars here tonight, and it's dark in there, so we're going to have this gym all to ourselves. That's going to be nice. So, yeah, let's get to it. I'll see you guys inside there. Starting with some bent over barbell rows. And I like to do about a mid grip here, just so you can kind of see where my hands are in the middle. Feels a lot more comfortable for me. So I started off doing the bar, and then I did 95 pounds, both about 12 reps each, just trying to get in the rhythm and the groove of it. Try to warm things up, see how my lower back feels. And so once I go probably to about 185, maybe a little above there, I'll start using my belt. So okay, I'll start using my wraps now, 185. Okay. Using our belt now. All right. Okay, let's go. So as you can see with these, I kind of stop at my knee a little bit, and then I go a little bit down below it, and then I heave back up. I know some people might look at that and they think, well, that's not perfect form. But like I said before, certain exercises like the T-bar row, the bent over row, I'll heave and hoe a little bit more, and that's what works for me. I use my wraps, I use my belt, and it makes it feel a lot more secure, a lot more safe. And so, like I said before, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or anything. This is what I do, this is what I like, and this is what works. So, yeah, feels good to me. All right. So we got, last time we did 275. So my back out before my last one, because last time after I did my T-bar rows, I didn't do these because my back was tired. So yeah, two back workouts before this. I did 275 and I did it for 8. And I got 285. I'd like to see how this feels and where we can go end up today. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Whew. Sometimes I'll stop at the top there after the 6 reps. I stood up just to kind of reposition everything, mentally prepare myself again for the last couple reps or so. Nothing really wrong with that as long as you're not standing up there all day. So, I don't know. We'll see. I might try to go to 315. We'll see what that feels like. Because that set it felt pretty darn good. All right, guys, we got 315 on here. I'd like to get 5 or 6, and see how that feels. Let's go. It's heavy. Nope. That's okay. We'll try that one next time. All right. So we'll move on from here and we'll go to deadlifts. Our back's still feeling pretty good. So. And I'm a big fan of conventional, so I like to keep my feet nice and close together. I don't do any of that wide stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It just works you a little bit differently. I've tended to pull my groin in the past. I think I said that in some of my other videos, to where it's just whatever that one muscle that goes alongside the quad, really prone to it being tight and almost pulling it. So I just don't do that. Okay. And two, when I like to do these, I use my legs, my knees, and my shins as a guide. I'll literally slide down them the whole time. So I like these bars. It's nice and smooth. It's not like sandpaper or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about destroying my legs. So I think we'll move on to 185 next. And two, when I put my hands around the bar, I have the space about the same as I did for my bent over rows. It's kind of like it's similar to the grip that I have for my close grip bench press, maybe a little closer than that. So I'm a little tighter in. I feel safer for my arms, so. Okay. Okay, we'll go to 225 next. I think last time I did this for 12 reps, but I wanted to lower it a little bit. So as we progressively overload in our sets, I can go a little heavier with a little less reps. So we'll go to 225 and probably do that for 6, see how that feels. And just probably start doing sets of 6 beyond that. Yeah, and a lot of people when they do these, they like really exploding through it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I like to slow the movement down a little bit. I want absolute control over everything I'm doing. I might not be able to use as much weight, but I really want to have that control, at least for this moment or this movement. My bent over rows with the T-bar and the barbell, I'm not as cautious, but with this, with arching your back and everything, it just, people always tend to get injured a lot more in this exercise than those other movements. So, okay. And remember, I don't ever throw my belt on the ground. So respect your equipment, and it'll respect you. Okay, we got 285 on here now. Nothing too crazy. Okay. One more. Oh, I think that'll be our last set there. I was going to try to go heavier, but whew, I felt pretty heavy. All right. So we're going to move on to some one-arm dumbbell rows next. Let's see. Last time, I think I did 275 for 8. And this time I got 285 for 8. And so, then that last time 295 for 5 or 6. So either way, we still went up, which is a plus. That's a win. Okay, moving on to our one-arm dumbbell rows. Already warmed up. Did 75 pounds for 10 reps. And moving on to the 90s. Okay, got our belt on now. Moving on to the 115s. I think last time we did 110 for 10. So this time we'll go to 115. Whew. I might rest a little bit more in between those. Whew. All right, couldn't find a 140, so we got a 135. So we're gonna do this and see what this feels like. Everything's felt pretty good so far. And I'll rest a little bit longer in between each arm here. Oh yeah. Yeah. Whew. We'll wait for a second or so before we do this next set with the other arm. Yeah. 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 Whew, man. All right, moving on to wide grip pull downs. Starting with 80 pounds, just kind of a feel set. Get this in here. Everything is kind of tight right now, so just kind of. This is actually kind of nice. It's like a decompression of the spine or the vertebrae. This is another exercise that people will try to critique me quite a bit on, which there's always a certain few exercises. T-bar rows, this one, or the long range partials where I'm only going about 2/3 of the way up on a bench or a press. That people think if you don't do these with absolutely perfect form, it's not going to do anything. So, I mean, as you can go, I will touch my chest, but as I get heavier, I start to do a little bit more swinging, and I can't touch my chest anymore unless I really heave. And what I've done over the years has really given me great results. So when I have people like that comment, I mean, I'm open for criticism, but when I hear the same things over and over again, and then I see the people that say it, and they don't look like they've ever done anything. I mean, it's like, well, I've lifted for 2 years. Like, well, I've worked out for over 21 years. And the reason why I say this is because I know I probably sound like a broken record, but like people used to give crap to Jay Cutler all the time for his form. He's like, he's such dog crap training. I'm like, well, it's what works for him. And he said that he tried every kind of training routine and every kind of form under the sun, and that's what worked the best for him. And honestly, that's what he enjoyed the most. So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. I'm open to people critiquing and saying stuff. But it's more difficult for me when I get a random critique from someone and they're not even a subscriber. It's like whatever I did obviously irritated them enough to where they had to go out of their way and comment on it. And I'm like, well, that's, I mean, you know, I'm human. I'm not going to lie to you. That rubs me the wrong way. I don't like being told what to do, but I bite my tongue. That's the only way you learn. It's the only way you grow. But when I have people critique me like that aren't even subscribers, I'm just, it's kind of in one ear and out the other. I mean, I'll see it and I just don't really acknowledge it that much. I mean, It's like Jay Cutler tried to explain things over and over and over to people about the kind of form that he did. And to the form police out there, it's like, unless it's done perfectly, it doesn't do anything. It's a waste of time. And that's an absolute, it's ridiculous to even say because of what those guys look like. So, sorry, that's my rant for the day. I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, but certain exercises that I do, I just know the form police, the keyboard warriors, they're on the prowl. They're waiting. they're probably all tense right when they get ready to see me do this exercise. Like, is he gonna do it wrong? Okay, I'll shut up and I'll do my set. Okay, we got 200 on here now. So for this, I will probably start swinging a little bit more. And now I'm going to start using my wraps. Otherwise, I'm going to start tearing my calluses off my hands. The knurling on this bar it's like sandpaper. So, I mean, it's really good for a grip, but it will chew your hands up, I swear. Okay, now the wraps are a little softer. Keep me locked in. Okay. See, and now I'm swinging because I can't do good form anymore. So my calluses are actually starting to tear. So the form police would tell you that I should have stopped, but it's just like barbell cheat curls. When you finally get to those last few reps and you want to cheat a little bit, like I said before, you're maybe only getting 50% of the motion that's getting growth, and the rest is just sloppy form. But once you've gone beyond failure, that last 50% is getting 3 more reps. And it's the same thing here. Maybe it's 40%, maybe it's 60% because I'm swinging. But I still get a little bit of a peak contraction there at the bottom. And I'm fighting it even going on the way up. So even though it looks like it's out of control, I'm fighting it when the eccentric is going down, right? Eccentric? Yeah. So lots of different ways to do it. Not necessarily the right or wrong way. You can be stricter with your form, but even if you're a little sloppy with your form, as long as you're careful and safe, you're going to get phenomenal growth out of it. So when these people tell you that it's a waste of time, you don't even need to listen to these guys because most of these guys have only been training for a few years anyways. And they act like they had got doctorates or something. All right, so we're going to move on to some rear delts and some traps next. So with my traps, with the shrugs, you'll see me kind of go up more so like this, where I'm pulling and not just up and down like I normally do. So yeah, you'll see me come up like this. And then with that, the exercise that I came up with the barbell, to where it feels like it's almost like tight, like a easy curl bar, and you go up like this, and you really pull, and you get that rear delta pop. And honestly, I think from the way I'm going to do my trap exercises from now on, I won't do the dumbbells today, but it'll be the same thing, pulling them up like that. That Dorian Yates row that he would do will probably fire a lot more fibers in the traps or the rear delt as well. So honestly, I don't think anyone could ever have big enough rear delts. Because when you do that most muscular, when you come forward and pop, this here, this is all rear delt right here, this part that pops out. When I go in, it makes it look smaller. But when you go out and pop the rear delts out, then you can see them. It makes you look wider. So there's a tidbit there for you guys today. Okay, so I actually tried to do these in the front and pulling up like that. It really got a lot of tension on my elbow for my tendonitis. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try them from behind and do the same thing to where I'm pulling up like this. And it just removes all of that sensation. So I used to actually do shrugs like this back in the day. So then I would take my wraps, go around the knurling here, wrap around and turn over, overlay it, and kind of go over. Since my wraps are used, they're a lot more pliable, my chic wraps. And so I'll do the same thing here. And then when I go up, I make sure my back is nice and straight. There we go. And so then as I go up, you almost have to kind of push your hips forward to get your butt out of the way. So just a little something different, just so I'm not having to use so much weight. And so as the heavier I get, when I go like that, I'll definitely be using my belt just to make sure my core and everything is nice and solid and straight. That felt pretty good. I think I'm going to go to 185 next, get my belt, see what that feels like. All right, here we go. Okay. Whew. Yeah, it feels good. The belt makes it feel even more secure too. So yeah, I'll put 245s on each side and go from there, because now it's a little heavier. It's locking me into a groove, and with the belt. It's kind of the same thing with the slingshot when I use that. It keeps me stabilized in certain positions that I like. And so makes it feel a little safer, which is nice. All right. Hey. All right, I'm gonna rest for another second. I know you guys are following me. So we'll be right back after these short messages. Okay. And these, I have my hands in the same position that I had for my T-bar, or not my T-bar, bent over barbell rows and my deadlifts. So fairly close. I've noticed before I tried to do my shrugs when my arms are a lot wider, and it really pulled strain in my biceps. I never like tore or anything, but I could just feel the strain differently. And I'm like, this isn't a bicep exercise, so I don't need that kind of that risk. Okay. And two, the one thing I used to do, because I used to use a lot of weight on these when I would do shrugs, is just be really mindful and slow and make sure everything is tight when you come out of the bottom. The same thing with the deadlift when you're at the bottom. That's why sometimes I like to pause at the bottom so that I can really make sure everything is tense and tight before coming back up. I don't want anything to just be haphazardly like, unflexed or untense, because with those kind of exercises, that's how you can strain things. At least that's my opinion. All right. Okay. When I stand up, I'll pull it a little closer towards the back of my hamstrings, and then just slowly lift up. There we go. It is amazing how much heavier that feels using a fraction of the weight. It's exactly what I wanted. Whew. All right, let's move on to the next exercise. All right, guys, I'm gonna do the rear delt machine here. And traps and rear delts are already feel pretty darn fatigued. And so I'm still going to do that other exercise after this, and we'll move on and we'll finish with a few exercises with biceps. And we'll get out of here. I've started drinking my carb drink just because I'm starting to, I mean, those big exercises in the beginning really take a lot out of me. So hopefully it's all downhill from here. And see, with my hands with here, this machine, a little older, so you're racked pretty close to it. So I like to put my hands closer in here. And then with this specific exercise, I also like to keep my arms a little straighter. I know that seems like quite a bit different from when I do the flies. But this exercise here is always kind of, I mean, I've always had little minor issues with my shoulders. Never hurt, never torn anything. But you hear like, feel like random clicks or tightness or something popping. And so, yeah, when I keep them straighter and slow it down, it tends to feel a little bit better versus when I have a slight bend in my elbow, which you'd think would be the opposite, right? Okay. Okay, please. 85 on there, move on to 100. Okay. Yeah. 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 I'll do a couple of descending sets here. Go back down to 70. Man, I swear I'm getting a pump in my triceps here. Just from keeping my arms tensed. Oh man, add a little bit here, or I'm going to be here all night. Whew, man. All right, we'll move on to my the Atom barbell shrugs. That's what I'm calling them. Someone probably already has a name to them. I'm just thinking that I'm the first one that discovered them. I'll live under that lie. All right, I'm going to start to do my shrugs here to where I have my hands like this close, as if you're doing an easy curl bar. That sensation where it's close enough to where your hands almost, it's like you're almost kind of pinching with just your thumb and your index finger. So it sits right in here. That's what I like. And so put my hands a little closer together and hold on. And as you can see, I bring it up. So almost like you're doing a row, but you're standing upright. So you're pulling above your thighs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember how I discovered those, but I really like those because when you pull up, you're really activating that rear delt. So good stuff. We'll probably move on to 135 next. Okay, and I'll start to use my wrist straps on these. Closer, so I don't have to worry about my grip so much. Okay. Honestly, these feel like a different variation of what I was trying to do with the front with the Yates roll. Yates row. I said roll. Maybe it would have been easier for me if I would have had my hands like this, because when they were like this and I was pulling back, it was activating this part of the forearm, which really activates when I do reverse grip curls. Can really bother it. So honestly, I probably could have gotten away with that just by reversing the grip as if you're doing like a curl, the way you'd have your hands on it. So maybe we'll give that a try next time. But I know I'm going to do the same kind of a variation, but with the dumbbells, to where I'm going and I'm pulling up like this. So yeah, I'll probably move up to 185 on here next. So then we'll see how this feels. And this might be my last set of these. All right, got it locked in. Okay. Whew. Man. Okay. I'll start off with the close grip barbell curls, and then next arm workout, I'll focus a lot more on the width movements in my back. So we probably won't do a lot of the off-ground stuff like we've been doing today, other than the T-bar row. I'll do that on that day, and then do the width movements. Maybe even like maybe a seated wide grip row on that machine over there. I might do that just to still get a wide grip. I don't mind using the hammer strength machines, but I just kind of like to stay clear of some of that stuff. Nothing wrong with them. I used to use them all the time. But like I was saying before when I was doing that one arm, what I would do with the hammer strength machine over there is I'd have my hand like this, and I'd go really far forward with it and then pull. So as I was going like this, I had my hand here on the chest assist, and then I would go like this. Versus you're sitting there and you're going like this. I wanted to get more of a range of motion to get that upper part here. The only problem is when I do that, that's where a lot of my strength is at best, because I keep my lower back out of the equation. So it doesn't cause me issues. Same thing with dumbbell rows. I was able to go to 135s there and do 12 reps, no problem, because my lower back wasn't involved. If I would have been bent over with no assist, I wouldn't have been able to do that, because my back would have been, the lower back would have been spent. But yeah, like I said, the way I was doing those on there, I was putting 645s on there, and I'm like, good grief. I'm like, I mean, what a nightmare, right? I mean, it was cool to be able to put on that kind of weight. But I might vary around with that a little bit. Maybe I'll do somewhere in between to make it harder. But I don't, like I said before, the heavier I get on those chest machines, like the one that you can see over here, where you lay down and it's on here, the heavier you go, it's harder to breathe. It's like you got a big snake that's squeezing the life out of you. So maybe I should just stop being a pansy and start doing those, right? Stop complaining. Usually the ones that you don't like, the movements that you don't like the most, or you like the least, I should say, are probably the ones you should do. So maybe I'll do those. So we'll take this off here and we'll get ready with the close grip barbell curls, and we'll do some seated dumbbell curls. And then this preacher machine right here, we'll do those. It's been a while since I've done those because the machine's kind of been in the corner hidden behind a bunch of stuff. All right, ready to do a set of just 45 pounds, did 12 reps. Just trying to get a little bit of blood in there. I know we're probably already pumped, but everything is tight right now. So I'd still like to try to warm it up. Ooh. Moving on to our second set here, 85 pounds. It's feeling a lot heavier now because normally I do arms by themselves, so, but that's okay. Whew. Man, starting to feel it. So, and with these, once I get tired enough, the form goes a little bit to where I'll turn more into barbell cheat curls. And two, as long as you play things by ear and how you feel, and you're careful, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So if your back hurts, or if you had issues with your back before, I do advise you to be careful. Maybe use a belt if you're going heavier. But even then, if you've had back issues, I wouldn't even do them. Cheat curls, I mean. So let's see. I think we'll probably add another 10 on each side here. See what that feels like. We got 105 on here now. See what this feels like, and then we'll probably, I don't know. Depending on how this feels like, we might go up again or we might not. I don't know. Okay, now I'm going to do a cheat. Maybe two. I'll do another one, keeping the core tight. One more. Woo. So, when you do them, you want to make sure it's just enough to keep it going. And even then, play things by ear, because if you keep going, you're swinging more and more and more, but your back is safe, it feels good. Maybe you're only getting 20% of the movement that's actually doing anything then, but that's 20% more that you would not get if you were to stop doing that rep. So always be careful, play things by ear, and be as safe as you can. So I've been training for about 21 years now and doing this long enough to where people are like, whoa, what are you doing? I'm like, oh no, trust me, I know my limit. If I were to try to go, I think the heaviest I've ever cheat curled before was maybe 165, 170. I mean, that's not that much more than this, by about 50, 60 pounds. And that was my limit way back in the day when I was a lot stronger. And that's when I was like 80 pounds over, eating anything and everything that moved and crawled and stuff growing in the field. Everything. So yeah, play things by ear, be safe. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being too careful. So I might do this preacher bench over here first before I do the seated dumbbell alternating curls. So I'm feeling it. We're gonna do that. Okay, this is my second set that I'm doing. Just started off light. I started off with the 25 pounds just to get some blood in there. And I'm gonna do a little bit of the wider grip now. It's still kind of a mid grip, just because we did the close grip on the other one. So. So yeah, with these, I really like to concentrate on the flow, concentrate on the form. As I'll see a lot of guys that'll throw 245s, 345s in this thing, and they're just bouncing out of it. And it's probably because they're young and limber that they've not torn anything yet, but it terrifies me, especially when you're all the way at the bottom like this, and you feel like you're kind of almost hyperextending it. So be very careful. Pretty sure most of them is like, hey, would you like to use less weight but have bigger biceps? They would probably take that in a heartbeat. These are cheap just a little bit so I could just kind of push them up. Focus on that negative. Put my elbows up a little bit so I can come back up. I like these. I know it looks like pansy weight on there, but they get the results. So I'll take that. So, all right, we're gonna go over, I forgot to put the rest of my weights away from my barbell curls. I did one side, I must be getting tired. So I'll put those away, and then we'll do some seated dumbbell curls, and then we'll get out of here. It's getting pretty late. So still trying to monitor. I don't know how much volume I want to do on my biceps, because I know that they're getting worked quite a bit from, like, indirectly from my back routine. And so I just like to do the rest that just finishes it off in the right areas, not just that, you know, kind of like everything is a drag curl in the beginning. So nothing was really a complete, like, peak concentration of the rep of a bicep, unless you're doing like close grip pull downs or pull-ups. That really activates the biceps differently. Because like all the way up, because like that peak contraction, especially between the shoulder and the top of the bicep. If you've ever watched any of Mike Mentzer's stuff, I think he said that he believed that the close grip pull down was the best biceps exercise in the world. And a lot of times we just think on using it for our lats. And so it's good exercise for your biceps, especially for that peak contraction down there, because that part is hit a lot more so than any other exercise you could do, unless you're maybe doing a cable curl of some sort and really focusing on that top part, that top squeeze. So, all right, let me put these away and we'll move on to the next exercise. All right, I'm changing things up just a little bit for the dumbbell curls. I'm gonna do higher reps. I was just using the 10s, and I just did 30 reps with that. Says I'm really feeling it in my tie-ins the other day from my shoulders. So, like, I was gonna do maybe some incline ones, and I could feel it in here. So I'm gonna go a little lighter tonight and probably do some more reps. And so just play things by ear. So sometimes it's like, that's what I was gonna tell you the other day. Rich Piana, he called them feeder workouts. That's what he would do late at night when he would, like, after this didn't have anything to do with his normal training sessions, to get as much blood in the muscle as possible, and to just encourage growth. Because honestly, it's like if you get more blood in the muscle, as long as you're not tearing it down, it's the same thing with cardio. Cardio helps you recover faster because you're getting blood pumping up your muscles. It's not enough to like fatigue them like you're doing an actual workout, but just gets blood recirculating in your body. It gets rid of dead cells and everything, and gets nutrients to the body quicker. And so you burn through more calories, so then you have to eat more. So therefore, I mean, basically you're getting more nutrients added because you're burning things off faster. So yeah, you can recover faster that way. Here we go. Okay. Then we'll go on to the 20s next. Just really try to push a lot of blood in there. Okay. Okay. Actually, I think we'll go on to the 25s next. I always remember back in the day, Tom Platz said that he always would do his some of his bicep training a lot earlier in the day because he would do high rep sets to where he was only using like 15 or 20 pound dumbbells, and he said he felt embarrassed. I mean, it's like, who cares what you're using? If what you use gives you good results and you're able to manipulate the weight to make it feel like it weighs a lot more, your body doesn't know that. So it might not look as impressive to other people, but quite frankly, like I was saying earlier, if someone says, hey, would you like to use less weight with biceps and have 2 or 3 inch bigger arms? And I'd be like, yes, you can take the weight. I'll just go pump them up if that's the case. So yeah, sometimes a certain, I think like for Tom Platz, that was a big thing that worked for him. He had to train his biceps differently, and high reps for him worked. So obviously I still do a lot of low reps. I'll do like, 5 to 6 reps in a low set or low rep set. But variety can be key, and shock in the body is great too. And since, we're doing a lot more volume now, and we did back, I really can't hit biceps the same as normally as I would do if I were just doing arms by themselves. So yeah, it feels really good. Feels really good to get a lot more blood in there and not necessarily have to go as heavy, just because the tendons are still pretty soft and sore from the other day of benching. So yeah, because like if you ever go up like this at all with any of your movements, I can still feel those tie-ins. And it's almost next to impossible to not engage your front shoulders. Even when you're doing preacher benches or stuff like that. There's a way that they still continue to try to, front delts love to be worked, and they'll find a way to work in just about every kind of exercise, whether you're pressing or you're curling exercises. And so I think we'll move on. We'll go to the 35s for the next set and still try to aim for like 12 to 20. See what that looks like. I'll start using my wraps now. All right. All right, let's push through. Let's try to do 5 more. Let's get serious. Come on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. That's going to be the last one of those. I'm not going to 40. Whew. Man. Oh, that was a good set. All right, everyone. Welcome back. Yeah, it is so foggy outside right now. It's so crazy. Really thick out there. It feels good, too. I like the smell of that moisture in the air. So, oh, yeah, I just wanted to show you, before I forget, these are those shoes that I usually use. So you see, it's got that, you can hear it with my ring. Oh, no, I got my rubber ring on, but they're like a wooden heel. And if you guys can see that there, so there you go. Hopefully it's not reversed in the camera. It's called Velasa. I had to look that up because there's 2 A's there. I'm like, Velasa, but yeah, it's Velasa. And I looked these up on Amazon, and the only sad thing is they do carry Velasa shoes, but they don't have the specific kind. Because I think I remember spending like on probably like $250 on these. There's probably on eBay where I got them. And so I'll have to look those up and figure out exactly where you can get them. The security guard's going. He's probably wondering what I'm doing here. He's probably used to me now. Knows that I go into the gym. And so, yeah, those are really, really good shoes. I've always had to use plates under my feet. There's a lot of guys, especially if you guys ever follow Sam Sulek. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who he is. He's got like 10 billion followers on YouTube. He thinks like over 4 million now. It's crazy. But he's always used like a big, huge 45-pound plate under his feet. And I don't know how tall he is. He looks like he's at least 5'10". And he goes super deep, but he also has to use a plate. And so that's why I wanted to get a shoe like that, so then I don't have to worry about putting something under my feet. Because my biggest fear is when you're, like, as what my dad would always say, it's a walk in the park, when you take the barbell off the rack there, and you're juggling with your feet trying to figure out exactly where that darn plate is on the floor. And I swear one of these days I'm going to trip over it. And it scares me, you know, especially, I mean, right now I'm not really, 315, I mean, honestly, that's enough weight to still hurt you if you fell down wrong with it. But it's like when you'd watch Sam Sulek, he's using 5'6", 45-pound plates in the bar, and he's walking back to the plate to stand on it. I'm like, oh, gosh. So you'd see a lot of those power lifters where it's like hooks, to where when they unrack it, and you got guys that will pull the hooks away, pull the hooks back. So they don't even have to move. All they have to do is just pick up the weight, and it's unracked. And you just go down. So they don't have to walk back and forth or anything and worry about blowing out a knee or anything like that. And so that's why I wanted to get those kind of shoes so I can go deep. And like you'd seen before in some of my exercises, I'm barely hitting parallel, sometimes a little above and sometimes just barely at it or a little bit below. And that's as far down as I go, unless my legs go really wide. I can go lower, but then if that's the case, when I go wide, when I start to go back up, you start to get more of that. You get more of like a hip thrust, almost like a glute hamstring emphasis on the squats. And that's not why I want to do that movement. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing them that way. There's a lot of powerlifters that do them that way. But I don't want to do them that way. Just because I was saying before, the vulnerability I have in my inner thigh. Like when I was doing sumo deadlifts, I wanted to do that to try to eliminate a lot of my my lower back. Because like I was saying, I'm doing my back into separate workouts, and I can't do multiple bent over movements without my lower back fatiguing so much. And so my upper back is still very powerful, but my lower back fatigues way before. Kind of like your forearms. I use my wraps because my forearms are weak. Even though I've got really great forearms, they will always go first before that big muscle. because your big muscle is a lot stronger. So I use the wraps to go harder. And so my belt is, I'm able to go a little bit harder on those reps, but still having to separate, do the T-bars in another day. And today, the rows felt good. I still felt a little tired from the other day when I did my back workout. I wasn't sure that I was going to switch routines and start doing everything twice a week. So normally I would have like at least 2 days in between doing back again. So I didn't want to do back, and then I did everything I did the other day with my chest, triceps, and shoulders, and then immediately go back to back. I wanted one more day in between there to do that because I have to do legs tomorrow as well. So I didn't want to just, it's fatigued, and I fatigue it more, and then I get get under a squat rack. So we'll see how that feels. In regards to the legs, I might switch things around a little bit. But yeah, I'll probably have to play around with the volume on my leg days because I know the central nervous system is really fried, especially during legs and back. Legs probably more so than anything. Although it's like I can honestly push myself through legs easier than back. It's more mental for me, I believe. Like when I'm doing bent over rows and I see, like when I had 315 on there, I was like, whoa, this is a lot of weight, I mean, even 225 is a lot of weight, but it's like once you get to a certain weight, it's like you can't show the weight that you're fearful. I don't remember who said that. You can't show the weight that you're afraid. I think that was Jay Cutler. And so, but you bent over rows, I have to be really careful because my lower back gets very taxed from that exercise. So I want on my belt, I would like to keep my belt really tight. And it's also strange. I really had to do some adjustments with my belt as I've lost all my weight. My gut is so much smaller. So I actually used to have my belt around my hips, and so then I was crank it tight. And then but it would really hurt. I never knew why. I mean, you'd have that much cushion on your stomach. It was harder to try to figure out where it was. I mean, you'd put the weight up top or put the belt up top, and then you just kind of mushroom over it. And I never liked the way that looked. That's why I didn't do that. But now that I'm a lot leaner, I've had to reposition the belt to where it's actually above my hips. And luckily, I didn't get a belt that was much wider. I think the belt I have is it's around 4 inches wide, and some of the other ones are about 6 inches wide. So that would probably dug into my hips a lot more. And so, but yeah, really good shoe. I'm going to try to figure out where those are. Velocita does sell things on Amazon, but you might be able to find them on eBay. So they must be kind of a smaller company if they don't have anything on Amazon or that many products. So I'll probably try to reach out to them eventually, because if I'm advertising using their stuff all the time, you need to get connected with them and maybe have like an affiliate thing, just something, not like a partnership. I mean, maybe down the line when the channels get bigger, there's more of a desire for a company to then want to partner with someone. And so lots of exciting things, a lot of things that I'm still learning. I think I had my first, someone did their first purchase today on my Amazon affiliate account. They didn't buy any of my products, but they went through on my channel on YouTube. They used the link tree underneath it. If you go to my channel, you can see the link tree and you press it, it shows the options. It'll show the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, the Amazon affiliate, my Instagram, the TikTok, and it'll show all those. And right when you go to the Amazon affiliate, the minute you go to that, it takes you to Amazon, and then you just sign into your own account. And that's one thing I discovered. You actually do have to be signed into your account on Amazon when you go through the Amazon affiliate link. So if you get there and you're not signed in, all you got to do is sign in there. What it does is it releases a cookie for 24 hours in the system. It does anything crazy. But when it does that, anything that you purchase through there, it gives a small % back to me, which is really cool because you don't even necessarily have to buy any of my products. Although those goofy Amazon vitamins, I get those gummy vitamins, those vitamin C ones and the multivitamin, I honestly don't buy them very often because it's like they taste like candy. The citric acid's really strong, so it reminds me of really, yeah. My wife's always yelling at me, so you're going to get sick from eating too many of those multivitamins. I'm like, I know, but they're so stinking good. But yeah, so it's a nice way to support the channel just by going through that. You go to YouTube, my channel, go to the link tree, and then pick the Amazon link there. And right when it goes through, it releases the cookie, and then you can bypass my products, and get whatever you want that you normally get, and it gives me a little percentage back and supports the channel. Really cool. So yeah, neat to see the first sale there. Very exciting. I mean, it's like if you're only getting like 2 or 3% back on someone's purchase and they only purchase a $14 item, it's barely anything. But you know, it's every little bit counts. And so it's exciting to see things like that gradually grow. And so it might not seem like much, but for a very small channel, it's hard. It can be hard because I think right now we have about 56 subscribers, and that's, I mean, I started on October 31st. So yeah, happy Halloween when we started. And then we didn't start introducing the shorts, I think, for at least another week. And then, yeah, so we're going on 60 subscribers in, you know, about a month and a quarter, month and a third, something like that. Yeah, month and a third. So yeah, pretty exciting to see. And then TikTok obviously is on there. And I've been reaching out to some of my followers on there, encouraging them. Like, hey, you know, every single short I make on TikTok is made from the long form content back on YouTube. And so I tell them that. And it's kind of cool. I had a gentleman earlier tonight. I sent like a message on there, say, if you liked it, you know, the long form is on YouTube. And he immediately subscribed. I didn't even ask him to. I'm like, that's so cool. Because I mean, YouTube, honestly, I mean, I don't ever want to be someone that's like a snake oil salesman. I'm pretty sure the minute I ever sell anything, people are probably going to call me that. But I'd never liked being pushy. Whenever I go into TikTok, and the minute someone would friend me, they immediately they reach out to me in regards to their TikTok shop. And I don't like that. I mean, that's just a preference. It's what they're doing is not wrong. It's not wrong at all, but it makes it seem like they're desperate. And I guess someone could say the same thing about me, but I'm not saying, hey, go look at my products. I'm saying, hey, if you want to see the long form content, it's over here. I'm not telling them to subscribe. So I don't want to be one of those people. So I just want it to grow organically, and encourage viewers to look at the longer content, and I'm not going to encourage them to subscribe. Although in the YouTube videos, I do encourage you, if you guys like my videos, please like and subscribe and comment to boost that algorithm. So I will always say that here, but I hope that doesn't seem pushy. I mean, it's just a lot of time out of our day, right, to make these. And then it takes me, since we're small enough, it still takes me probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours to edit these videos. So I'm not saying the word too much in my videos, or when I get too excited, sometimes I stutter. My brain's working faster than my mouth, and so sometimes I will edit some of that stuff out, so I sound a little bit more normal to you guys watching me. And so yeah, really good workout tonight. Bent over rows, I wanted to get 5. I didn't. I got 315 for 4, but that's okay. That's okay. Pushing my body to the limit, and now doing things twice a week. It's like uncharted waters, uncharted territory. So when I'm combining muscle groups, obviously, especially with biceps, numbers will go down, but that's okay because it still feels heavy. And like I was saying earlier, if you can manipulate the muscle and then making it seem like it's lifting more weight, it doesn't know, right? So you can still get more growth out of that. And it's safer as well. Safer on your tendons, safer on your joints, everything. And so dumbbell rows went really good. Leaning over and being able to put my hand there and support, it really takes off all of that strain on my lower back. So I was able to get 135. I was going to go to 140, but I didn't see any 140s. It didn't see 145s. It just jumped to 150. And I'm like, I had 115s I think I used for 12 reps or 10 reps. And I'm like, I'm not jumping that much. Because even with the 135s, my left side, my left lat, sometimes I can feel it tweak a little bit, just because I don't know if it might be my weaker side. Because I mean, obviously, I'm right-handed, so I'm right-handed. It's my dominant side, I believe. So I was thinking, you know, I got 12 reps with 135. We went up by probably 4. Was it 4 reps? Yeah, I think 4 reps. So I'm like, hey, that's a win, because we also went up in weight in the previous sets too. So that was definitely a win. The wide grip pull downs, we went up. I think we used 200 pounds in the last set. In the last couple reps, I was using a lot more body English. So I'm pretty sure people, if we do make a short off of that, people will probably comment. And so sometimes people don't know, you know. It's like when they say, oh, wow, does he do all of his sets like that? It's I remember people would comment way back in the day on Tom Platz. He was a guy that whenever he worked out, he would take it to the extreme. If you ever watched him, every single muscle he trained the same, to where he would say, my muscles are like a sponge. I go in there, the sponge is saturated with water, and my goal is to try to crush and wring out as much of that water, that sponge, as possible. And that's what he would do with everything. If you ever saw him doing dumbbell side laterals, he was basically barely twitching. And you'd see the video of him, you're like, what the heck is he doing? I'm like, no. He's probably done descending sets here. And now his dumbbell side laterals are basically no more than like a shrug and a twitch. That's all that there is left. So he did that with everything. He'd have a lot of people that would assist him when they were available. And just crazy stuff that he would do. Everything he would just do. It was kind of like Mike Menser intensity, except he would do it all the way through. Every single, I don't know if he did every set. I don't believe that he did every set to failure. He did field sets and warm-up sets. And then his working sets, once he would get to a certain weight, like, okay, with squats, we're doing 315 for 40 or 50 reps today. I mean, I'm pretty sure once he got that set done, he didn't go up to another weight because that was his goal, was to just use that weight for reps. And so I'm pretty sure that he did that with a lot of his other exercises. But if he's doing multiple exercises, his last is like, okay, we're going to take this to failure, and then we're going to do a descending set, and we'll do descending sets again until there's nothing left. And so that's the way he trained. And so not a lot of people can train that way. That is just to failure and beyond. And he still did not a tremendous amount of volume, but a decent amount of volume. So when you take the muscles to that extreme, you're not going to be able to do a truckload of volume because, like, okay, the normal reps are done. Now we're going to do half reps, which is basically like another set, right? Like, okay, that's done. Now we're going to do quarter reps. Okay, well, great, awesome. That weight's done. Now we're going to do a descending set and grab weights and try to do full. It's like you're honestly doing multiple sets in one set. It's kind of what Mike Menser would do too. With his training, you know, say whatever you want to say about him. I don't really agree with a lot of his stuff, but his intensity was insane. And so, but the only thing I don't like about his workouts is how quick they were. I could not be in the gym for 30 minutes. I mean, you see me on my leg extensions, my lying leg curls, and I'll just take it to failure, and I'm looking at the camera smiling just because I've done it for years and I'm used to it. Especially with legs, I'm used to that kind of pain. With other exercises like biceps and stuff, I'm a little bit more hesitant in going to that extreme just because my tendons, I start to feel it in there. So I'm very careful. And the same thing with my bench pressing and other things. With dumbbells, when I go to failure, I'm like, okay, I'm doing bottom reps now. How taxing is this on my shoulder tie-ins and my rotator cuff? That scares me. With legs, I've never had problems like that. So I'll just take everything to failure and beyond. I don't necessarily do that with squats. I mean, I might, a lot of the times when I stop doing my set of squats, I maybe have 1 or 2 more reps possible through there, but I just don't want to chance it. That's another thing about Sam Slick. If you ever watch him, he'll have the racks and everything on here, and he'll take his sets to failure. That's pretty darn cool. I mean, that's a different mind game when we're taking squats to failure. What do you mean? It's like, I'm gonna get this last rep, and you do everything you possibly can, and you don't get it, but then you rack it. I mean, that's pretty intense. If you have something set up for you to do that, I mean, I might even try to start doing that. Is just go beyond a mental barrier to take it to failure. I mean, who takes squats to failure? I mean, you try to do some top rep partials, and I mean, it's probably only working 10-20% of the muscle. It's still something, but it's scary. Once you get to that place where you're fatigued and you start to try to do these partials, if you accidentally go down a little too much, you're going to be in trouble unless you have some sort of a rack for the bar to get caught on. There's nothing fun about getting caught under a squat rack bar and you really don't have any place to put it other than dumping it behind you or trying to dump it out in front of you, which I think I did that way back in the day. I don't even know how I did it, to where I think I put my neck down far enough to where I just kind of threw it. But I think I only had like 225 on there, but still. I mean, I wouldn't call anyone else stupid, but what I was doing, that was stupid. Because, I mean, I threw it off away in front of me. I mean, if that could have probably screwed up my neck. But dumping things behind, I mean, that's different. And so overall, good workout. Biceps, I really got a great pump doing that close grip curl like that. I was actually surprised, like, whoa, man, these pumped up my arms even more than the normal bicep barbell curls. So I might try to incorporate those a little bit more as just a first exercise. And that's what I did tonight. I kind of want to do next time I do back and arms or back and biceps, I'll do the normal barbell curls. And then the next work I'll do like I did today. So maybe it's the mechanics of the movement for my structure to where I'm in a little close like this, like a little closer than shoulder width. And maybe for my body, I mean, maybe the mechanics of it, I'm able to get a lot more muscle-mind connection, a lot more blood in there. But yeah, I'll try to start gauging that. Never too old to learn something new. So neat to see when you can do little tricks like that and all of a sudden like, whoa, I've never seen that before, especially after, 20 odd years of lifting. So, all right. Well, again, I appreciate you guys. And two, I will look up these Velasa, these shoes. If you look at them on Amazon, they do sell other shoes. I've never used those before. They might be elevated shoes, some of them, but I don't know if they're wood. They might. I think I had a shoe previously. It had like a foam heel in the back, and I didn't like the way, because it just felt like you could almost kind of rock. This is just solid, wherever your feet are in place. It's a block of wood. You ain't going anywhere. So I'll look that up too, and I'll try to figure out where that is online, and then I'll update you. I'm pretty sure they have a site online to where you can find those. And so I'm gonna drive home soon. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for following along. And for the gentleman that from TikTok that just became my 56th subscriber, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Seemed like a young gentleman, and I was cool, man. I was just telling him, like, good grief, like I've like lifted for 21 years. I'm like, man, I'm getting up there now. I mean, he's probably 21 years old. It makes me feel like an old goat. But that's okay. With the years come experience and hopefully not foolishness. So, I mean, neat to be able to help people and just share my journey and have you guys join on and create like a community. That's the best part about this, having people reach out, and it's just different. And I can't even imagine what it's like when all of a sudden this subscriber number like triples. I mean, how many more people? I'm going to feel really guilty to the point to where the subscriber count is so high, I'm not going to be able to respond to everyone unless I take hours and hours per day, especially when I have multiple platforms. That's going to be kind of difficult to do. But I'll do my best as long as I can and prioritize that for as long as I can. So, all right. Well, you guys take care. Thank you so much for joining in. And I hope everyone, I know I said it last time, happy holidays and Merry Christmas, whatever you prefer. And I will see you guys back tomorrow, and we're going to be doing a leg workout. So I'm probably going to do front squats tomorrow. So do front squats in the one leg day and normal back squats in the other. So, all right. I'll let you guys go. Take care. Bye-bye.